you know, how do you manage this ministry and leadership and family? I think you've got to be strategic as a family, but I think as a church we've got to be strategic as well and not overload the people.
Yes.
So we've got to know what our church is about, you know, and recognise that, and expecting wives with young children to be at all the meetings. We've got to get over that.
Yeah.
You know, timing of meetings.
Yes, appropriate. I like the word you use, strategic. Could you elaborate that a little bit more, you know, in a practically, for someone who is serving God and wanting to be passionate in the way they serve God, how do they work through this thing strategically? I mean, what are some guiding principles between, you know, balancing ministry and their personal life? What would be some of the principles?
I think it's just that being practical and recognising the stage you're at in your life. For example, okay, when we were young, I talked before a bit about some of our issues learning, but once we got that happening, we worked it out. For example, don't go on an 8-week preaching tour.
Yes.
Believe God for more money and do 3 tours in an 18-month period for 2 weeks. You understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah. The other thing was, well, Jo, my wife, why don't you stay home on Sunday nights? Because we've got little wee children, we've got little wee nippers, you know, so they've got to go to school tomorrow. So how about on Sunday night, you stay home, put the family to bed at this season, and I'll go to church and support the meetings, and well, I have to, I'm a pastor. The early morning prayer meeting, say you're going to have a 3-day prayer and fasting.
Yes.
Well, honey, it's probably not a good idea for you to fast. A whole fast, you know, why don't you? So we'd talk.
Especially if she's feeding the baby.
She's feeding the baby and she's running around doing everything, and now we're not being strategic.
Yes.
See what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
And then the older you get, your kids grow up and now they're teenagers, then you have to think strategically, about no Sunday sport. But wait a minute, you've got this kid who's a champion runner or football player, what, you're going to cut him out now of that for the church? Somehow I don't know whether that's strategic thinking.
Yeah.
Some people might think it's godly, but I think it's zealotism. I think it's being a zealot rather than strategic. So, okay, so thinking strategically, how can we be in church as a family, but at the same time support our daughter or son in their athletics, for example?
Yes.
And we've found families say, well, look, while the football season's on, we'll all go to church as a family on Sunday night.
Yeah.
And we'll all go together as a family to the sport on the Sunday. When the football season finishes, we're going to go to church on the Sunday morning as a family.
Yeah.
Because it's a season.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people forget as parents. They seem to think it's forever. And then eventually the kids go and then it changes again.
Yeah.